I'm going to introduce Gary Bauer, who's going to introduce Mike Huckabee. They have a lot in common. I'll just say a word. Gary and Carol are two of our oldest and best friends in Washington. Gary's a man of principle, as is Mike Huckabee. They're both recovering former presidential candidates, which they both ran admirable races, honestly, I think, standing for principle when the media and some others in the party were not that interested in candidates who were willing to say some things that some pollsters thought were perhaps a bit unwise. Anyway, I'll let Gary introduce Mike and announce Mike's 2016 campaign. I don't want to step on that story, so. But Gary Bauer served in the Reagan administration, served in the Reagan campaign, way before President Reagan was President Reagan. When I came to the Education Department in 1985, Bill Bennett was the secretary, Gary was the deputy secretary. It's the best team I've ever worked for and with. Gary went to the White House and served as President Reagan's domestic policy advisor, ran the Family Research Council, and runs now American Values, and is I would say the leading spokesman in Washington for the pro-life and pro-family cause. So it's a great personal pleasure to introduce Gary Bauer.
Thank you, Bill. Boy, what a fantastic night. You know, it's relatively rare to have this many people committed to the sanctity of life in one room in Washington, D.C. Although I do have to admit that on the way in tonight, I thought for sure I saw a drone circulating overhead, so we'll just have to hope for the best, I guess, and get out of here alive. Well, look, it's been a mountaintop experience night already, and the best is yet to come. Your next speaker is going to be, as Bill said, Governor Mike Huckabee. You all know Governor Huckabee. You know his accomplishments, two-term governor of Arkansas. I was reading that the Time magazine during that period of time ranked Governor Huckabee as one of the top 5 governors in the United States, which shows that even Time magazine gets it right every once in a while. Governor Huckabee before that was a pastor and a denominational leader for over a decade. He was the youngest elected president of the Southern Baptist Convention. Tremendous accomplishment. Of course, we all know that he is the host of Huckabee on the weekends on Fox News, which is, I believe, their highest ranking program. He's written, yes? Yeah. He's written 9 books, every one of them a bestseller. And of course, Huck, as he's fondly called, has his own rock band called Capital Offense, which he proudly takes up and plays an instrument in, which I've seen a number of times. But look, all these things, as nice as they are, the accomplishments, etc., they are not the reason he's here tonight. The reason he's here tonight is that I think Governor Huckabee understands that this great country is in a crisis. You know, there's only been 2 times in our history where America has violated our founding principle in a very direct and obvious way, where the highest court of the land took the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence, where the central idea of America is written. It's right in the middle of the paragraph. It says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men," it means all mankind, "that all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator." Note to the American Civil Liberties Union, that's God. Endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, among these the right to life, the founders knew even before sonograms that without the right to life, the other rights are kind of beside the point. the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's the whole idea of America. That's who we are. Back in the 1860s, the Supreme Court apparently had never read those words because a case came before them of a runaway slave named Dred Scott, and they decided, the highest court of the land, the most wise jurists in our country, decided that Dred Scott was not covered by that paragraph, that he was not a man, that he and other slaves were the equivalent of a horse, of property that ought to be returned to their owner. The poison from that decision almost destroyed the country. We still deal with the poison today. It keeps us apart. And then 40 years ago, the highest court made a mistake based on the same philosophy. They said of our unborn children that they were not people for purposes of the Constitution. And that's unleashed the poison. The American people have not accepted that decision. They will never accept it because it runs contrary to who we are as a people. Now, here's the crisis that we're in. The side in America that believes that 4,000 innocent deaths every day is okay, is bold and confident and on the attack. And those in the party of Lincoln and Reagan who have right there in their platform a clear language that says they're pro-life, all too many of the leaders of that party and the consultants and advisors and pollsters and much of the giving class, the donor class to that party, believe that that position in defense of innocent human life is what hurts them on Election Day. They think the party needs to ignore that issue and spend time on really popular economic ideas like cutting your mom's Social Security check. Now, in this strange vacuum, there's only been a handful of high-profile people that get it. People that understand that in this country, we believe that every human being, whether you're a newborn baby or a 90-year-old sinking into senility, whether you're black or white or Hispanic, it doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. It doesn't matter how much you have in the bank or who you voted for in the last election. That in this country, we understand that you were made in the image of God, and because of that, you have dignity and value and worth. And of that handful of high-profile people in politics that has been willing to make that case to the American people when so many voices are saying, shut up and sit down, nobody has done it better, has done it with more passion, has done it with more love than Governor Mike Huckabee. Join me in welcoming him to the stage.
You came along and everything's starting